Good morning and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Devilla, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today is Devilla's ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands, the corrections and motivations that we give while we're working with her, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. The correction that we give is a tug and release on the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Devilla has been fitted with her own personal training collar, and we will be sure to show you how to properly put that collar on and use it during your one-on-one lesson. Now, as you can see, Devilla is seated very nicely on Fred's left-hand side, which is where all of our obedience training takes place. The first command that they're going to go ahead and demonstrate for you is heeling, and heeling is proper walking on a leash. You're going to give the command, Devilla heel, and you're going to start walking, and Devilla should fall in line nicely, heeling appropriately at your left-hand side at about your left heel position. She should not be lagging behind so that you have to pull her on the leash, nor should she be lunging ahead and pulling you on the leash. Also incorporated into the heeling exercise is an automatic sit, so anytime that you're out walking with Devilla and you stop, she should sit nicely. And there was a good example right there. The next command that they're going to demonstrate for you is the stay command, and the stay command is a hand and a voice command. You're going to use the open flat of your left palm an inch or so in front of her muzzle and the one-word command to stay, and then walk out to the end of the training leash. Now Devilla should remain seated in this position throughout the entire command. She should not get up or move. This is a great command to practice frequently throughout the day to help build up Devilla's ability to sit and stay for longer periods of time. When you're practicing at home, you'll start at 1 minute and you'll increase your intervals working up to 3 minutes. When Fred returns back, he walks all the way around her counterclockwise, returning back to heel position. Good job. And you saw that he gave her a little pet on the head there. It is very important that when you are working Devilla through her commands, that you're using lots of positive reinforcement, whether it be verbal praise or physically petting her. It is important to let her know that she's doing a great job working through her commands. It will keep her highly motivated. Fred's going to demonstrate the sit stay for you again. Left hand in front of her muzzle, the command to stay, out to the end of the leash, build up her ability to sit stay for longer periods of time, and this time Fred is going to demonstrate the recall or the come command. Use Devilla's name to call her in. She should then come in and sit directly in front of you, and she returns the heel position by heeling around the back of you, returning to your left hand side. Devilla should sit nicely, and they'll demonstrate that again.
No.
Release her another sit stay. Lets her work on her sit stay and holding it.
Come.
Said you'll increase your amount of time. When you call her in, you can use that leash to reel her in directly in front of you if need be. But make sure when she comes in that she also sits nicely. And as soon as she heels around the back of you, returning to your left hand side, Devilla should then again sit nicely. Now when Devilla comes home, you want to make sure that you're generalizing your commands throughout the day, practicing them both indoors as well as outdoors. You also want to make sure at first you're picking an area that's distraction-free so that you and Devilla can work together through your commands, and you can get a better feel for working her through those commands. And slowly over time you'll introduce more distractions into your training sessions. Now the next commands they're going to demonstrate are down commands, and first is the down from a heel position. Again, use the open flat of your left palm, but this time straight down towards the ground, and the one-word command to down. Then give the stay command, and again walk out to the end of your leash. With the long down stay, she should remain laying down in this position throughout the entire command. Again, practice this one frequently throughout the day to build up Devilla's ability to down stay for longer periods of time. When practicing at home, start at 3 minutes, and over time increase your intervals working up to 5 minutes. Again, Fred walks all the way around her, returning back to heel position. Fabulous job, Miss Devilla. Although, like I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you are working your commands throughout the day. You want to make sure that at least for the first 2 to 4 weeks, you are setting aside 10 to 15 minutes to work on a formal obedience training session such as this video here. Fred leaves her in another down stay. Works out to the end of the leash. And this time, I'll demonstrate that recall the come on command from the down position.
Philip, come.
I would like to mention that we apologize for the background dog, but you can see how Devilla is remaining focused throughout her commands and her training session here, with the distraction of another dog just adjacent to her. Now this last command that they're setting up for is the down from a distance.
Stay. No.
Oh, she has an itch, so Fred's just going to heel her out of that.
Stay.
So for this last command, you're going to leave her in a sit stay, walk out to the end of the leash, and from the end of the leash, use your right hand to give the down command.
No.
Now she didn't go down directly on the first command, so Fred told her no. First words out of your mouth are no. Repeat the command, and you saw that she followed through. Once again, returning back. She remains laying down. Great job. Jody gets very excited when she sees Devilla walking around out here. So during Devilla's stay here, towards the end, we've built up the ability to drop the leash and increase our distance during our sit stay and our down stay. And Fred is demonstrating here how he can leave Devilla in a down stay and increase his distance. This is something that you can work on in the future, dropping the leash during your commands for a little bit more advanced off leash, but you want to make sure that you have all your commands and you feel comfortable working them and she's completing them for you all the time before you drop the leash. We've demonstrated for you today all the obedience commands that Devilla has learned here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Devilla, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.